Hey, it's John with Vision Advisors. Welcome to another Insight with Vision. I am joined today by Travis from 3D Mail Results, an amazing company that's got some really neat things that they're doing. And as we've had an opportunity to talk, many of you that follow us on a regular basis have had an opportunity to look at one of our Insight podcasts that we recently put out talking about how to get your mail open. And one of the big challenges that every one of us face today as we're sending information out, whether it's electronically or physically, is getting the attention of the client. We want to talk about some insightful ways today to give you an opportunity to get your clients to open physical mail that you're sending to them. Now, many of you may be saying right off the front end, John, why in the world would I want to think about doing physical mail in a digital world? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to tell you this, but physical mail still works. And if done correctly and done the right way, you've got an opportunity to create some amazing engagement with your clients that can get their attention and have a very unique way to share your message. To kind of set the stage for what Travis is going to be talking about, can you imagine getting something like this in the mail? Yes, this is a bank bag. And when you open it up and you unzip it, it looks like a bank bag that you would see in your business. But this came as a mailer to me. And when you open this mailer up, there's an interesting piece of mail in it, and it says an opportunity you can put right in the bank. Can you imagine as a financial professional having an opportunity to talk about what you do, the problems that you solve, the opportunities that you bring for your clients to save for a secure retirement, and be able to deliver that message in something unique like a bank bag that gets your client's attention? I promise you this piece of mail is going to get open, because when this came in my inbox and I opened up my mail and the first thing I saw was a bank bag, I thought somebody sent me some money and I want to make sure Uncle Sam didn't get a penny of it. And I opened it up to count all the $100 bills that were in it. There wasn't a single $100 bill, Travis, but there was a great letter and a great pitch. Why don't you talk about what you guys do and how you help financial advisors see success?
Well, thank you so much for the introduction. I'm glad to be here with you and your group today. I mean, you hit it on the head pretty much as it is. We send direct mail, but what we send, what we call is 3D mail. So most mail, when you think about it, it's flat, right? And I don't have any. So I got a check in the mail today from a client most of it looks like this, right? Number 10 envelope. It's got a window. They probably got their name in the upper left-hand corner. You get dozens of these every day, every week. It all pretty much looks the same. But we put a twist on that. We do what's called 3D mail. So if there are any, long-term students of direct mail, others have called it lumpy mail, others have called it dimensional mail, but we call it 3D mail. And you hit the nail on the head when you showed that bank bag. We're talking about sending things like this through the mail, and I have the same one you did, right? So you showed this already, but yeah, we actually, and you did a great job showing it. We actually send this directly through the mail. Yours has the mailing label on it and the postage on it and the whole 9 yards, right? Those are what we call self-mailing 3D mail pieces, and that, like you showed, the letter just goes right inside. But we also have things that go inside that give your mail a lump or a third dimension, thus 3D mail. So we've done things like, just to show you some of them, I know sometimes these are hard to see. Maybe I can get you pictures. We can put them up. This is a little bag of shredded money. So we'll actually put a little bag of shredded money inside an envelope. Now you may think, okay, well, that's kind of silly. But what it does is when someone picks up that envelope, they can instantly feel it inside. And now the brain triggers. It says, well, this isn't normal. This is different. I've got to know what's inside. So curiosity literally is what gets them to open it. But that's just one example. And we'll probably talk about some of these. We have silver platters, right? Made out of a tin metal, because we have a message so important we need to deliver it on a silver platter. Or maybe you are a low-cost option to the big leader in your area for whatever it is. So we've got little scissors, because we're going to help cut your costs. I have an insurance agent who does business lines, and he'll send these out all the time. So the bottom line is that it looks different, it feels different, it acts different, and it gets a different response. And the whole idea, the whole premise of all of this is to ensure that your mail gets opened and read. Now, I'm going to go off the direct mail here for just a second, but the biggest challenge we have as marketers in any business, I don't care if you're financial planning, insurance, if you've got a restaurant, I don't care if you're Elon Musk and you're sending people to the moon or Mars. The biggest issue we have with marketing is getting our message opened, heard, read, or listened to, right? That is the biggest challenge we have, because a message that isn't read, listened to, seen, acknowledged can't be acted upon. So this overcomes that biggest hurdle that we have in marketing, which is getting noticed. That is our sole purpose as a marketer, is to get noticed and then convert that person into a prospect, into a lead, into a customer, whatever it may be.
You know, Travis, you showed that silver platter, and I remember one of my first introductions to what you guys do was back when I was running a broker dealer operation. I had built a broker dealer from scratch, and I had a vendor that reached out and made a phone call to me to make a pitch on some solution they wanted to bring to our broker dealer and the registered reps that work with us. He wanted to know if he could send me something in the mail, and I said sure. I didn't think anything about it, and a few days later, I got this silver platter in the mail. I remember my wife and daughter and one of my sons came by, and they're like, "What's the deal with the silver platter?" And so I showed them this, lumpy piece of mail that I had gotten, and the fact that this pitch was so important, it needed to be delivered on a silver platter. Well,
You know,
interestingly enough, I didn't take immediate action on that. And about a week and a half later, I got a trash can in the mail. Another piece that you guys do,
yeah,
wadded up message inside of it. And so I opened up this little box, and inside of it's this little trash can. I pull the lid off, and there's this wadded up piece of paper. So what do? Again, you talked about it, curiosity. I pulled the piece of paper out, opened it up, and it made a comment, something to the effect of, "I guess you trashed the last piece of information I sent you, but I didn't want you to throw this away before you read it." And it was a great pitch. And so at that point, the guy had my curiosity, and I thought, what's coming next?
yeah,
And so I waited just to see what his third pitch was. And the third thing he sent me was a magic wand. Again, another tool of yours that you have.
yep,
And he
yep,
talked about the magic that could come from using their solution with our registered reps. Well, at that point, I thought, this guy's onto something. And so I made a call to him. We scheduled an appointment. We ended up implementing their solution in our broker dealer, made our guys some great money and having an opportunity to utilize that particular vendor that we were working with. But the way that they brought the message to us is powerful. So can you talk about the way how maybe you package some of the different pieces that you guys bring? And maybe, I know Meds Up guys, when you pulled up the scissors, I immediately thought of the Meds Up producer. Or I immediately thought of the guy that's selling annuities that the client's worried about somebody cutting their paycheck up when they're leaving the workaday world, and all of a sudden they've cut the ties to that paycheck. Now there's an opportunity to talk to them about guaranteed income through the
yeah.
use of an annuity that'll guarantee lifetime income. So can you talk about maybe how you position two or three of the pieces together in a campaign?
Yeah, before I get there though, I just want to mention, piggyback on your story. How long? I don't know how long ago that guy sent that stuff to you. You
That was
still
20
remember it?
years ago.
There you go. So that was long before. So he didn't even get all that stuff from me. We didn't even start until 2008.
Yeah.
So this, as you can see, 20 years later, you're still talking about it. You showed that bank bag, and I know this because the way we labeled that, we have a new labeling system. We probably haven't labeled it that way in 2 or 3 years. Yet you still have it sitting there on your desk. Travis has been on your desk or in your office now for however many years.
Yeah.
So that just shows the power of this stuff and how memorable it is, how it sticks around. You said it yourself. I had to go show my wife and my daughter. That's what you want your marketing to do, right? And so it kind of, the story I like to tell, then I'll get to your question, is that this is like Super Bowl marketing at a fraction of the cost, right? So if you think about the Super Bowl marketing, anywhere from 40 to 60% of the audience watching the Super Bowl watches it just for the ads, so they can go back to the office on Monday and talk about the ads, right? Well,
That's right.
that
Yeah.
costs you $5 million a pop.
Yeah.
If you got $5 million a pop to do a Super Bowl commercial, I would encourage you to do it, because if done well, you'll have an impact that you can't believe. But this does the same thing in your little world. So you mentioned a couple of the different ways that you received it. So I got a handful of samples here. Let's just pick one here, and we'll go through a couple of them. So let's say you've got a contact you want to work. Maybe it was a referral. Maybe it was somebody you met at a networking event. Maybe you went, whatever it is. This is a very simple one, and then we'll maybe graduate up to some of these more complicated ones. But this one's really, really cool. And again, I'll give you some pictures of these. It says, when you're looking for the best, and then it opens up and it rings. And it says, give me a ring. And you put your business card in there, right? And so it rings, and you could obviously put another message inside of this, put another letter, if you've got a brochure, if you've got other things that you want to put inside with it. But this is just one way. So maybe you just want a soft way of introducing yourself. Get the proverbial foot in the door. We actually do sell little squishy feet. I didn't bring one with me, so
I've
I won't
seen those.
run out to
Yeah.
the bakery and get it. I know you've seen it, John.
Yeah.
Again, just a fun way to introduce yourself. So that's like real easy, these are $3 a piece out the door, right? Real easy. You put your business card in there. So this could maybe just be like a soft introduction. I want to introduce myself. Maybe you met them, but you're not really sure what they want. So you just send them this fun thing so they can have your business card. Let's see, what else could we do? Maybe you and me can brainstorm a couple of these ones. So we've got these things. This is little stretchy money. So
I was going to bring that up.
we
Yeah.
actually sold out of these. I had to go rush to my manufacturer and get 10,000 made up real quick so we'd have more. But this goes right into an envelope, right? So this is, again, an insert or a grabber. Because we call it a grabber because it grabs somebody's attention once they open it up. So we'll put this into a number 10 envelope. Usually we put handwritten addresses on it, live stamp, things like that. All of that stuff you don't have to do. Many times we just use a computer font on the outside of the envelope. But this thing's really cool because then when you open it up, it literally stretches like 10 times as big as it was. So now you've got an offer where you can maybe, stretch your dollars well into retirement, stretch your dollars to give to your grandkids or your kids, stretch your dollar, whatever message where you're going to help them get that income for life or have that money work for them and stretch the viability of that money. This would be a great piece. And you see, it's still, it's still a little fun piece, but it's fun like that. That's one. I grabbed a handful of money stuff because I knew we'd be talking money. I showed you the shredded money. This is another grabber or insert. So again, if we've got our sales letter, we're going to have our letter here. We're just going to attach it to the upper corner of a letter. Mm-hmm. I love this as a follow-up piece. So let's say we said, we're going to help you stretch your money well into retirement, income for life, make it stretch out as long as you need it to last. I love it as a standalone or a first piece too. But as a follow-up piece, it's really cool because now imagine you sent that stretchy money. Now you can send them a letter that says, dear prospect, as you can see, I've taken $200 and I've shredded it up and I've put it in this little pouch. I've done so to illustrate two important things. One, do you hate money? Because I sent you a message last week, blah, 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 right? And I'm going to show you how to not waste your money by XYZ. So again, the whole idea is to simply get it opened, get it read, get them engaged. Because if we don't get it open, if we don't get it read, we can't make a sale. I can keep going. I've got a whole bunch of these things here.
Let me build off what you were doing there with the shredded money, because as I think into our advisors, and one of the main issues that we heard, if we go back to 2008 when we saw that major market correction, how many of you saw your 401k essentially shredded by the market? We have solutions that will allow you to keep what you've earned, enjoy market-linked returns, but if the market goes south, you don't lose anything and you don't end up shredding your retirement. That can be a very powerful message. And notice I got this from Travis in the group, and it's in a clear envelope, so I can immediately see this when it came in the mail. And I'm like, why in the world is somebody sending me shredded money? But one of the things Travis talks about, and I want to just kind of back up a little bit, because I'm a student of Dan Kennedy. And if you've ever been in the direct response marketing business and you don't know the name Dan Kennedy, shame on you. Dan is one of my mentors, and Dan has been speaking into my life for a while. But one of the things I remember from early on in Dan's career, going way, way back, was putting flower seeds in an envelope and
Yeah.
mailing out flower seeds. One of the first things that we learned when I went to work at Prudential back in 1988. And we would use that as a means to tell clients and get them to open the mail. The old lumpy mail story was that lumpy mail gets opened, and the pitch was, we would love to teach you how to plant the seeds of your financial future today so it will be beautiful when you're ready to retire. And that was the story, using just a little thing of seeds that we got. But that concept continues to work today. And as the world has transitioned, and everybody in their mind from the marketing perspective is, well, you got to go digital. You got to go digital. Well, everybody's in digital, and all the voices are getting drowned out. Direct mail and the opportunity to use direct mail has never been more effective for a couple of reasons. Number one, people are still at home because while we're doing this, there's a lot of folks still dealing with this coronavirus pandemic. But the mailbox is not as full as it used to. The days of everybody slamming direct mail are over. So you can now re-enter this market and have an opportunity to stand out in the crowd, and using some type of 3D approach gets your attention, because you know as well as I do, if you get something in the mail, it gets your attention. National Pen Company sends me a pen all the time.
Feels like
And
every
every
week
time
they're
I
sending
get
a
it
pen.
and I feel of it, I'm like, what is it? What kind of pen did they send me? I tear it open. I want to see what the pen is. You know, the other day they sent me
Oh, that's so funny here. I got one.
they sent me a silly pocket knife. And so I opened it up with my little pocket knife.
Here's my national pen order form.
Yep,
I'm looking.
exactly.
No, I
So
mean, yeah.
those type things work, but now we're talking about, rather than trying to get them to sell you something, you're trying to communicate with the consumer about what you do. And we've talked over and over in our insight videos and in our sales training, our attractional advisor model, how you have an opportunity to stand out from the crowd, to be unique and different and get noticed. This is a very powerful way to make that happen. And that's why we've partnered up with the guys at 3D Mail Results to provide this resource for you. So, Travis, any other ideas or any other great little trinkets that you got? Maybe we can talk about a minute or two there.
Yeah, let's see here. I love these guys. We've used these pretty darn successfully in Medicare supplements in the Medicare supplement programs in the past. I love that. I like that program because something we haven't even spoken about yet, which maybe we should back up a little bit. Our mailing lists, right? So without you can't send direct mail without a mailing list,
That's
right?
right.
It's impossible. Now you can put up TV ads, you can do radio ads, you can put up Facebook ads, but even then you have to know your avatar. Well, what's really great about direct mail is we can laser focus, unlike the vast majority of media out there, right? So there's a reason why they call television and radio broadcast. It literally broadcasts a broad message to a lot of people. Now, we've gotten more and more sub-niche and subcultured in that world, right? You used to just have AM talk radio. Well, now how many different segments of AM talk radio are there? We used to just have sports TV, right? ESPN. Now every sport has a, so yeah, you can really target like that, but with direct mail, you can go 2 or 3 or 4 levels deeper, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't even spoken about mailing lists until now. But what I like, so using something like this, we have these fake express envelopes. And again, I'll send you the images, John. We can maybe post them up under the show notes or whatever.
Absolutely.
But this is really cool. So this is, they look and feel, and we've got 2 different sizes, so you can see big and small. They're designed to look as close to a priority mail envelope without making the post office mad. So when people get this, they think they're getting an express mail envelope or a FedEx or something like that, when in reality, this is just a regular old envelope that we put a stamp on, threw it in the mail. Funny little story, not related to insurance, but relevant to this conversation. I had a client, B2B client, so he was selling to banks and credit unions. So this is, small banks and credit unions, 1 to 7, 1 to 10 branches, right? So this is not Chase or Bank of America, but these are your small community banks. So we actually tested. We took a batch of, I believe it was 200 and 200, so 400 total. And we sent, I believe it was this exact one, because we've got a handful of different ones. We sent this exact one to CEOs and CMOs of banks and credit unions. We sent a priority mail envelope. So now a real priority mail envelope that you get from the post office costs $8 or $10 a piece for postage alone. This is $1.20 for postage. So just in the postage, we cut about $7 off our cost. So we sent 400 of them. He got 0 response from the priority mail envelopes, and he got 6 responses from this. So we said, doesn't take a genius to say, all right, we will save $7 every time we mail something out, and we'll use this piece instead of the priority mail piece that the post office likes. So kind of a long-winded way of saying you never know what you don't know until you put something in the mail and test it.
That's right.
But anyway, I was talking about Medicare and lists. What I love about Medicare Supplement, to get a list of people turning 65 in the coming weeks and months, to categorize it by income or net worth or whatever. Now you can really laser target and really focus that message. You could focus on single people turning 65, married people over 65, people over 65 who have an elder adult living with them, right? So they're taking care of their parents now. Those are all lists that we can get. And now you can really speak to that person exactly how they need to be spoken to, right? If you were to sit across like you and me are, whether it be Zoom or whether it be, face to face, hopefully we'll get to do that again sometime soon. But you would never just start in on a conversation without asking some probing questions. What do you need? What do you want? What are your likes? Well, we can pull a lot of that information based on the mailing lists that we choose. Now we could go and we could spend a week talking just about mailing lists, so I'll leave it there. But what else? We have some other one. I love this little one. I know you've seen it, John. We've got these little worry dolls. I've had people down in your neck of the woods tell me they look like voodoo dolls, but they're worry dolls, right? And so let's say you want to send a message to somebody that says, hey, I'm really worried about you. Do you have the right kind of coverage? Do you have the right kind of whatever it is? So that's another way we can do this. So it's really, you're only limited by your imagination when it comes to using this kind of stuff. And again, remember, the only point, I wish I could just send a letter in an envelope and the money would come in. I wish I could do that. But we've got to go through these ideas and these strategies to ensure that these people actually look at it and read it. Dan Kennedy used to say, so you sent out direct mail. I'll make the numbers easy. Let's say you sent out 100 and you got a 2% response. You got 2 people to call. Well, what was your response? And there's no way to know this, but what was your response on the people who actually read it? And what was your response? And then, so let's say 85 of them never even read it because it was immediately identified as junk mail. Well, so now we got 2 out of 15, which is a really good response rate when you're in terms of response rate. So that's how you've got to think about this. How are we going to encourage our message to get open, read, listened to, and ultimately take action on?
That's right. Yeah. And as we get ready to wrap this time up, Travis, I think one of the most important things I want to drive back to our audience is the fact that we spend a significant amount of time here at Vision Advisors working with you as a financial professional to go deeper into helping you understand your avatar. Now, by that word, if you're not familiar with that, understanding who your ideal client prospect is. And the more you can refine that and understand who that is, then what Travis was just saying comes into play. Because if you go through and we data mine your book of business and we look, you may discover that 80% of the people you do business with are left-handed chiropractors. Well, we've got the ability now with the tools and the AI available to go find left-handed chiropractors who are 55 to 65 that are getting ready to transition out of their business and sell to the next generation that have assets and are looking to do what you want to do. We can get that refined with what we do by going through and looking at your avatar and then helping you build that out. And then how do you get in front of more lookalike customers, just like your preferred avatar that you want to sell to on a regular basis? That's what we help you do with your messaging and with the different ways that we help you put things together here at Vision. Now, layer on top of that, what Travis and his team does at 3D Results Mail, now you've got an or 3D Mail Results, get it right there. Now you've got an opportunity to increase your open rates. And if you can increase your open rate, now more people are seeing your message. And if you've had a chance to go through our sales training, you know that out of the entire universe of people that we deal with and we're mailing to in this broad net that many of us do, no more than about 40% of the marketplace is ever going to be interested in what you bring to the table. And the more of that 40% that we can get interested in opening your mail and paying attention to your message, now we're driving more opportunities to have a first appointment and then a follow-up appointment and then a reminder if they didn't take action immediately. All of a sudden, man, you're throwing money away, or an opportunity to send them a bank bag and say, look, I want to help you put more money in the bank so when you get ready to retire, you're never going to run out of money. Making those connections with a visual cue like this creates an emotional connection that causes something unique to happen in the consumer buying, selling process. So as you're going through this, there's some amazing things from neuroscience that we understand with 3D mail that trigger a response to want to have a conversation with you. So this is something that you need to be implementing in your practice if you're not, and we're here to help you do that. So Travis, any final comments or thoughts on how we can help introduce producers to you? And you want to share your website and all this good
So
stuff
I'll
there?
give one more little bit of information, one more
Sure.
tidbit that I think we all kind of overlooked. I know we went through a lot of stuff and we talked about mailing lists. I mean, you can get analysis paralysis when it comes to mailing lists. If you're looking for a quick, surefire way to try direct mail, to test it, what I would encourage you to do, go to your whatever you have, whether it's a old school shoebox full of business cards, or if you've got a CRM or an Excel spreadsheet, wherever you go and you keep your list of your unconverted leads, right? So you've got businesses everywhere have dozens to thousands of people who they've spoken to, they've done all the things but closed the business, right? Maybe they traded business cards 20 years ago. Maybe they got cold feet at the signing and didn't do it, and everything in between. If you want a quick win with direct mail, find a message that works, whether we're going to be cutting costs or whether we're going to stretch their money, and just find a sliver of those unconverted leads. Write a very simple letter, pick something easy, stretchy money, like I said, and send something to them and see what happens. You've got a mailing list in your business. Everyone has unconverted leads. Hopefully you're keeping those and hoping you're keeping them in some kind of system, whether, like I said, whether it's a shoebox of business cards or you've got a robust CRM system. Go pull those people out, and for a quick win, find a message that works. And again, it doesn't have to be everybody on that list. It could be slivers of that list. It could be 20, 50, 500 if you got them, right? And find the message that works and then send something out and then give them a phone call and follow up with them. I can almost guarantee you will get appointments. You will get people calling you back, responding to the direct mail. We like to say is a rising tide that lifts all ships. So when you send something unique ahead of it, and now you're able to make a phone call or send an email or have a sales team follow up if you're a big company. Now you can that is a very quick and easy win for the vast majority of people when it comes to 3D, well, really any kind of direct mail, but especially 3D mail. So I just wanted to throw that out there. We were talking all about new business. A lot of people can just fish in the pond they already got and get a whole bunch of money just sitting there.
Absolutely. And I was going to touch on that at the very end. So thank you for doing that. Now,
Perfect.
Imagine mailing this bank bag and then you call someone that attended your seminar last year but didn't buy. They came to your dinner seminar when you could do them and they didn't buy, and they get this in the mail, and then you call them and you say, hey, I'm John. I'm the guy that sent you the bank bag. They're going to know who you are the minute you call and say, I sent you the bank bag, because this is going to be sitting here. That silver platter, Travis, I was sharing with you from 20 years ago, I've still got it home. It sits on my desk in my home office. It's got candy on it. So when people come by my home office and I get to tell the story of that silver platter. So these things have a long shelf life. They get passed around. So not only does it impact the customer that you sent this to, it also impacts the people that they say, have you seen something like this before? And then they open it up and they pull out the letter that you sent them and they show you that letter that you sent them. Now you've just turned your clients into a referral source for you.
Yep. They're your
Well,
advocate.
imagine just doing a drip on your clients for an annual review and using a 3D piece. You increase the number of annual reviews you've got. going back, as Travis said, to your unconverted leads and re-engaging with them through something like this. There is power. We can help you with the message. We can help you draft the letters. We can help you create what you need, as well as Travis's team can do the same. But that's what we do, that synergy of helping you market. And that's why working with a marketing-focused, results-oriented IMO like Vision is so important. We partner with groups like Travis and his team to bring these value adds to you to give you an opportunity to see success. Travis, any closing comments, and we're going to wrap this up?
Yeah, cool. Just real quick, I'd love to give you guys my free book if you want to. If you want more information, it's called the Definitive Guide to Using 3D Mail: How to Explode Your Advertising Results. It's very cool. It's one part book on. So we talk about some of the stuff we talked about today, but we talk about even more than that. And then it's one part catalog. So it has all the products you get. You can see what they are.
Yep.
We give you headline ideas. You may have one sit. Yeah, there you go.
Got it right there. Yes, sir.
Got my whole collection. But what's really cool, in addition to John mentioning that they can help you craft the letters, we actually give you a digital download. We call it a digital swipe file. And so they'll have templates for all of our different products. So I rattle off the copy like that because I've been doing it for so long. Not as easy for some folks. We actually give you the letters so that you can go in and tweak them and see the headline and see the body copy. And then you got to tweak it, right? They're written generically. But you have 30, 40, 50% of the battle already done just by getting those swipe files.
That's right. Yeah.
I'd love to give it in your hands. It's completely free. All I need is a name and mailing address. There's no credit card numbers. There's no nothing like that. Completely free. It's 3dmailresults.com/book. So that's the number 3, the letter D, mailresults.com/book. 3dmailresults.com/book.
Absolutely. And if for whatever reason you can't access that URL, you can just give us a call here at Vision Advisors, and we'll be happy to help make that happen and get a copy of this book sent out to you from Travis and his team and introduce you to the power of 3D mail. Travis, I want to thank you for taking some time to be with us today on this interview. And for those of you that are joining us in this on-demand broadcast, thank you for the opportunity to speak, to share another insight and an idea that's going to be beneficial to help you get in front of more qualified prospects, to re-engage those that didn't buy the first time, and to have an opportunity to do something unique and different with your existing clients, to have the opportunity to upsell and next sell with them. I'm John Terry with Vision Advisors. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.